Well, I am honored to share the stage with two outstanding folks this morning. My name is Jeff. I lead our Blue team. In this work, as I'm sure all of the work that you do, we all know that we need to develop workforce solutions that help both the individual get skills and the employer hire folks for good jobs. What I love about NSC the most is the diverse folks that we work with every day. And it allows us to have these discussions where we can dig into these issues from both of these perspectives. So with that, let's jump in. Jamal, gosh, I began here, this spring will be about 5 years, and I was told on my first day or first week or whatever that I need to chat with you, that I need to get to know you more, work with you more. From your perspective, what brought you to advocating with NSC?
Well, good morning again, everyone. Thanks again. Jeff, I would say as I first kind of went into my workforce role, I realized I had some skills gaps. I did not understand federal policy. I didn't realize how important it was to skilling workers. And when I realized I had that gap, I found NSC as a bridge to kind of help me learn about workforce policy, not just at the federal level, but also at the state, because we had state policies that we need to have addressed as well. So that was really what brought me to NSC. And again, it's been a great opportunity just to learn and just really advocate for skills across the U.S. and in Georgia. Great.
So, Lynne, you participate in our Voices for Skill team. Mm-hmm. You're a former member of the Student Advisory Group. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and again, what brought you to advocating with NSC?
I'm a proud GED graduate, and when I 5 years ago got my GED, it had such a profound effect on everything I felt about myself, which then led me to the world of advocacy. And through my advocacy, I found the National Skills Student Voices panel and couldn't help myself.
Great. So, Lynne, you've obviously had time to think about this. You've had a lived experience with this. What do you think are some of the specific issues within the system right now that feel most urgent for you, and how can workforce partnerships help to solve those?
Well, especially in my rural area, I saw really big gaps in what my community needed and what was available, and also the knowledge of how to get to those pathways. So that really gave me the urgency and the need to want to step in and provide my student voice to no, this is not working. We need to find a better way.
Right. So, Jamal, from your perspective as an employer that is looking for folks like Lynne, what are some of the issues that you see in the system now, and how important is a partnership for an employer to being able to overcome those?
It's a great question. So one of the things that initially we would notice was that we had an aging workforce and a lot of people were retiring. So less people in the workforce. So as you post these different jobs, we had a saying, post and pray. I pray somebody's going to fit this description and get hired. So it creates challenges, and it creates a need to ensure that we have programs in place to make sure that people are skilled to go into our job. So we need to work very closely with our technical college partners, with our workforce boards, and just make sure that as a collective, we're not doing things in a silo. I think everybody has good intent, but if education is doing their own thing over here, business industry is doing this, it's a disconnect. The way technology is evolving, policies are changing, skills are changing. You have to kind of be in step with each other to ensure that we are making sure when someone completes a program that the credentials are valid and they can go directly into the workforce and not feel defeated like, hey, I got this certificate, but now it's no good. So again, just really working collaboratively across the system and ensuring people like Lynne have opportunities as they pursue their education to put them in great wage jobs.
Great. So we have a lot of folks in the room now that want to partner with a business. What advice would you give to a group that, say, has not worked with a business in the past, wants to partner with a business to help folks get trained for jobs that you might have? What sort of advice would you give to someone who's going to take those first steps?
I'd say start doing your research. Start looking at what are your key industries in your community. That's how I would start there, because the key industries are typically going to have the most demand and job opportunities. So start looking to see, okay, who is the workforce manager there? Who is the community relations person? And start making that connection, because a lot of times they just don't know that these opportunities are there. They don't know about a workforce board. They don't know of nonprofits that are supporting people with reentry, getting back to the workforce. They typically have never really worked in this space. The strategy has pretty much been, we're going to post jobs and people are going to come to them and we're going to hire them, because we've historically kind of had a great supply of workers. We really haven't had to be very strategic about making sure people have skilling to go into these jobs. There was always plenty people for good wage paying jobs. So again, it's just really being intentional about collaborating with those organizations, letting them know that you have workers that can address their needs, because they definitely have needs now. There's a huge challenge with finding people that are skilled to do the work that we need. So it's a matter of just offering your services, how you can help support them, and just making that connection.
Gotcha. So Lynne, from your perspective, having been through the system, being in the system now, still getting trained, what does an ideal system look like for you from beginning to end for a student?
Transparency, I think, is really key, and having verbiage and language that's easy to understand. A lot of us, myself included, are first-gen students, and it's really, really difficult to navigate and, one, know what is a good fit for me, what is a good wage-paying job in my area that I can be trained in. If I want to be a deep-sea welder, but I don't live anywhere near the ocean, where's that balance? But so just having that transparency of, this is what's in your area, this is what is needed, this is what the wages are, so people have a clear choice.
Gotcha. This is a question that we did not talk about before the panel, but Jamal, sort of building off what Lynne said, how important is that, the language and the transparency for employers? We do a lot of work with small and mid-sized employers that do not know a lot about the system. And sometimes it's tough for folks who don't understand a system of really any kind to be able to get involved. So for employers, how important is that to just that transparency side and having the same kind of language that business can understand?
Now, Lynne, you made a great point, and that was a challenge that we had at my previous employer. We felt like there was way too much jargon in job descriptions. They were very long. You couldn't really see it on your cell phone, where we was telling them that most people are applying for jobs on cell phones, and we just had to really kind of overhaul that particular system that we had. So what we did was we created a new website that was very basic, and not a whole lot of jargon on there, and it was very relatable. And we created a lot of videos called Day in the Life. And you could watch a video for a particular job that you're interested in, hear from someone that's working that job. They talked about the type of skills they had to acquire to get into that job. And it really just made it much easier for you to understand that, okay, I think I want to do this, or this is not for me. So just meeting the job seeker where they are is very important, and making sure that you have materials out there that really speak to what they're looking to understand, so that way they can apply it to those roles. Because a lot of times people feel like they'll look at a job description and say, I don't qualify for that. But I mean, there's just a whole bunch of lingo in there that doesn't mean anything. Yes, you do qualify for it. So just reducing all that stuff out of there.
Right. So in the same way, we need to develop a system that meets the needs of employers too. We need to train folks for jobs that are open, for jobs that pay well. From a business perspective, how does an ideal system look?
I would say now we definitely need to lean into AI because really a lot of the digitalization is not going anywhere. Automation, AI technology, that's going to be there. So we need to start preparing our workforce to understand that this is going to be a part of your daily job. Lean into it. Google has these certificates called Grow with Google. Any workforce provider in here that's a nonprofit, you can get those licenses for free. You can skill your workforce in project management, AI fundamentals. Let's see what else we have. Data analytics, a bunch of different certificates that are nationally recognized that we can start leaning into and training people. But it's very important that we get people to really understand that this is where we're going from a technology standpoint. So you start leaning into it. Don't fear from it, because there's going to be a lot of opportunities with AI that's going forward. And what I really want to impress upon everyone is that you don't have to have a 4-year degree to work at Google or Amazon or what's the other one? Amazon, Microsoft. Yeah. You don't have to work. You don't have a 4-year degree to work at those type of companies, because with data centers, a lot of times we're looking for people with skilled trades backgrounds, and these are also individuals that typically have worked long careers and didn't really have a great benefits package, and now they're coming to the tech companies and they're getting an opportunity to make a very thriving wage with great stock options. So again, supply and demand, like Lynne said, if you're not near ocean, you don't want to be a deep sea welder. You need to make sure that you're aligning with the key industries that's in your particular region.
And Lynne, do you want to be a deep sea welder?
I grew up in Seattle, and they have a deep sea welding program, so that was the first thing that popped in my mind.
Okay. Sounds like an interesting job. Okay. Lynne, how should people be able to move through the system without unnecessary hurdles to overcome?
Well, I think a lot of what we took to the Hill yesterday is, I'm going to go back to my rural roots, and we need to have the earn and learns. We need to have the partnerships in our communities that our students can get skilled training and not have to worry about childcare and if they have food in their pantry for dinner tonight. And so the earn and learns are really important in that, and the apprenticeships with clear pathways in our area that we know we can have jobs and stay in our communities and build our communities is what is my dream for my community.
Yeah, I mean, those supports for someone to be able to get through a program, because a lot of times when you're in a program, you're not getting paid, right? And so those kinds of supports are just super important. So the final question that I have, and one of the things that I love about NSC too, is really how do we develop this system that works for both. But at events like this, where we're able to bring together these two views, how can a worker-employer engage in this work together to help shape these solutions that actually work for everyone? Jamal.
Yeah, I'll take it. I think Lynne made a great point, and you highlighted as well. Just making sure that we address the barriers. Employers have to do a better job, and I've come to a point now where when I'm building out a program, it's going to have a stipend involved in it. We are not asking anyone to do training without getting paid.
Yeah.
It's just a disservice. We can't ask someone that's already been in a tough situation to say that, okay, now I'm going to go through this 8-week training program, and it's just not feasible. So it's taking those funds and building it into the program to ensure that there's a wage that's associated with it as well. The other thing that we're looking at doing is just, again, more collaborative, working with the nonprofits, working with the students and figuring out, okay, what works? What are we missing here? We don't know what some of the barriers are. We don't realize sometimes that it's a daycare situation, it's a child care. So again, just making sure that we are building funding into the program to ensure that it addresses all those particular barriers and ultimately make sure that the student has success because we want them to finish the program. And we have the ability to do that. So again, it's just making sure that we are great stewards and also great partners in creating opportunities for people like Lynne and other individuals to just get through that program and, again, get that great wage job that they're looking to do. Because, again, we need people. We have more jobs than people that are skilled for it, so we have to create the avenues for them to get into those programs.
Lynne?
And I'm just going to back you up on that is talk to the people.
Yep.
How can you create programs to serve them if you're not asking them what they need? So...
Great. Well, I just want to thank you both for all of the work that you do for us, for yourselves, for the communities in which you both live. It's been a pleasure. We're now going to take a break. We're going to come back at 10:15. We want you guys to go out into the hall to talk. Because we want you to then come back and we want to hear all of your thoughts and opinions. So the summit experience is going to continue with interactive sessions, building bold policy together.